Hello, listener. The fact you hear this means you're alive. If you're new here, consider subscribing and comment below. Where you're listening from, you must subscribe because every single subscribe helps me donate $1 to those who sacrifice for our country. Let's begin the story. I stopped listening to the radio 3 years ago. Not music stations or podcasts, just one radio. The old Zenith tube receiver my grandfather left me when he died. It sits in my basement now, unplugged, wrapped in a blanket I haven't washed since. Sometimes late at night, I still hear static in my dreams. The thing is, radios aren't supposed to know your name. They're not supposed to warn you about things that haven't happened yet. But mine did, and I should have listened sooner. It started the winter I turned 28. I just moved into the house on Cermak Street, a narrow brick two-story with a basement that smelled like wet concrete and old newspapers. My grandfather, Victor, had been dead 6 months. The radio was all he left me besides debt and a handwritten note that said, "Keep it tuned to AM 780. Listen carefully." I thought it was dementia talking. Victor spent his last year convinced the government was watching him through electrical outlets. Still, I plugged the radio in. Tuned it to 780 AM like he asked. Nothing but static and occasional bursts of what sounded like numbers being read in monotone. I left it on while I unpacked boxes, letting the white noise fill the empty house. Around 11:15 that night, the static changed. It sharpened into a voice. Speaking English with an accent I couldn't place. "Anton," it said. "That's my name. You left the stove on." I froze, box cutter in hand. Walked slowly to the kitchen. The back burner glowed orange under an empty pot. I'd made coffee hours ago and forgotten it. The pot was starting to smoke. I stood there staring at that burner for probably 5 minutes. Then I went back to the basement. The radio hummed its usual static. I waited. Nothing. Just the soft crackle of empty frequency and my own breathing echoing off the concrete walls. "Hello?" I said, feeling stupid. Radios don't answer back. But it did. At exactly 11:47, the voice returned. "You're welcome, Anton. Your grandfather asked us to watch over you." My skin went cold. Who is this? Who's us? Static. Then, friends of Victor. We broadcast on 780. Keep listening. We'll help when we can. I yanked the plug from the wall. Stood there in the sudden silence, heart hammering. Then I did what any rational person would do. I left the radio unplugged and tried to forget about it. I made it 3 days. 3 days of jumping at every sound, checking the stove compulsively, and lying awake wondering what the hell Victor had gotten into before he died. On the 4th night, curiosity won. I plugged it back in. The voice came through at 11:12. "And check your car. Driver's side rear tire." I went outside in my socks. February cold bit through my shirt. The tire looked fine. I crouched down, ran my hand along the tread. My fingers found the nail head embedded deep in the rubber. Not leaking yet, but it would have blown on the highway. Back in the basement, I sat on Victor's old stool. How do you know these things? We watch. We listen. We see patterns others miss. Static crackling. Victor was one of us, Anton. Before the illness took his mind. Over the next 2 weeks, the radio saved me 4 times. It warned me about a package thief 3 minutes before they arrived. Told me my landlord, Mrs. Kowalski, would call about the broken furnace. She did 20 seconds later. Once at 2:37 in the morning, it woke me with Anton. Kitchen window. Someone is trying to open it. I grabbed the baseball bat I'd started keeping by my bed and crept downstairs. Saw the shadow through the curtain, hands working at the lock. I flipped the light on and yelled. The shadow ran. When the police came, Officer Brennan asked if I had a security system. I said I was a light sleeper. I didn't mention the radio. Something told me not to. But I was starting to need it. Need them. Whoever they were. I asked once during a late-night transmission, "What do you want from me?" The answer was simple. Nothing yet. I started keeping notes. Every message, every warning, every time the voice spoke. Patterns emerged. They knew things before they happened, but only by minutes, sometimes hours, never days. And they only contacted me late at night, always between 11 p.m. and 4 in the morning. My friend Dimitri came over for drinks in March. Good guy, worked construction, didn't ask too many questions. We were in the living room when the radio crackled downstairs. He heard it. "You still use that old thing?" "Background noise," I said. "Helps me sleep. Sounds like someone talking." He tilted his head. Can't make out the words. I realized then that maybe they only spoke clearly to me. Or maybe I was losing my mind like Victor. The line between the two was getting blurry. Dimitri left at 10:40. At 11:05, the voice said, "Dimitri drinks too much. He will crash his truck before dawn. Call him. Make him stay with you tonight." I called. Dimitri's phone rang 6 times before he answered, speech already slurred. "Anton, what's wrong? Come back. Stay on my couch. I need help moving something in the morning." He grumbled but agreed. Showed up 20 minutes later, too drunk to argue. I made up the couch and went to bed listening to him snore. The next day, Dimitri's neighbor called him. Someone had clipped the passenger side of his truck during the night while it was parked on the street. Totaled the mirror, dented the door. If Dimitri had been driving it at highway speed, if he'd been drunk behind the wheel when something hit him. I went down to the basement that night and said, "Thank you." The voice responded immediately. "Your grandfather would want you safe, Anton. But understand this. Every favor has a weight. We are keeping a ledger." "What does that mean?" "Static. Then, eventually, we will need something from you. When we ask, you must do it. Without question. Without hesitation. Do you understand?" I should have said no. Should have unplugged it right then. But I thought about the stove, the tire, the window, Dimitri. I thought about Victor's note. "Keep it tuned to 780. Listen carefully." "I understand," I said. The voice seemed to smile, though I don't know how a voice can smile. "Good. Very good, Anton." That was the night everything changed. For 3 months, the messages were gentle, helpful. "Anton, take the side streets today. Accident on the expressway. Anton, Mrs. Kowalski is about to raise your rent. Ask her about her grandson's hospital bills. She will give you a break." I started to trust them. Started to think maybe Victor had stumbled into something benign. A secret group that helped people. Watched over families. The fear faded. The ledger they mentioned never came up again. Then June arrived. On the 15th, at 1:18 in the morning, the voice said, "Anton, tomorrow you will receive a call from Elena Vasquez. She will ask for your help. You will say yes. Who is Elena Vasquez? You will understand tomorrow. This is your first task, Anton. Remember the ledger." I barely slept. At 2:30 the next afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Anton Greger. A woman's voice, accented. "My name is Elena. I was given your number by someone. They said you would help me. Please, I don't know who else to call." Elena was 32, a schoolteacher, Romanian by birth. We met at a coffee shop on Ashland Avenue. She looked exhausted, eyes red-rimmed. Kept glancing at the door. I don't know how to explain this without sounding crazy, she said, stirring sugar into coffee she wouldn't drink. Someone is watching me, following me. But the police, they say there's no evidence. No reports. Nothing. Tell me everything, I said. She'd noticed it 3 weeks ago. A man in a gray coat. Different places, different times. Always at a distance. Never approaching. But always there. She'd changed her routine, her route to work. He found her anyway. Then the call started. Her phone ringing at odd hours. Nobody on the other end. Just breathing. Why did they give you my number? I asked. They said you would understand. That you had connections. She looked at me desperately. Do you? I thought about the radio. The voice. The ledger. Maybe. Give me your address. And his description. That night, I asked the radio. Who is following Elena? His name is Marcus Rudin. He works for people who traffic in debts. Elena's brother, Johan, owes them money. They use Elena to pressure him. What do they want me to do? Thought Marcus. However necessary. I'm not killing anyone, I said. We never said kill Anton. We said stop. Go to Marcus tomorrow night. He drinks at Murphy's Tavern on Kedzie. 11:45. Sit beside him. Tell him this. The people on 780 AM say to leave Elena alone. Her debt is paid. He will understand. He will stop. That's it. That's it. Simple, yeah. It was. Maybe too simple. Murphy's Tavern smelled like stale beer and floor cleaner. Marcus sat at the end of the bar, exactly as described. Tall, lean, gray coat folded beside him. I took the stool next to him and ordered whiskey I wouldn't touch. Waited 5 minutes. Then said it. Word for word. The people on 780 AM say to leave Elena alone. Her debt is paid. Marcus went rigid. Set his glass down slowly. Turned to look at me. His face drained of color. Who are you? A friend. You're with them? The frequency. I had no idea what that meant. But I nodded. Marcus stood up so fast his stool fell over. Tell them I'm done. I'm out. I didn't know she was protected. I swear I didn't know. He grabbed his coat and practically ran out of the bar. I sat there, heart pounding. The frequency, I whispered. My phone buzz. A text from Elena. He's gone. He just called and apologized. Said he made a mistake. Anton, what did you do? I didn't answer. I went home and stood in front of the radio for an hour before I unplugged it again. I tried to stop. Tried to walk away. But 2 weeks later, the radio turned itself on. I heard it from upstairs. The hum of tubes warming. Impossible. It was unplugged. I checked 3 times. Down in the basement, the plug lay on the floor. The radio glowed anyway. The voice was different now. Harder. And you cannot walk away from the ledger. Victor understood this. You will too. What do you want? There is a man named Stefan Koval. He lives on Hermitage Avenue. He hurt someone we protect. You will go to him tomorrow at 8:23 p.m. You will deliver a package. You will not open it. You will not ask questions. And if I refuse, the radio crackled. When the voice came back, it was cold. Then we stopped watching Anton. We stopped helping. And all the things we have prevented, they will find you. The fire from the stove. The accident from the tire. The man at your window. They were never random. We have been holding them back. Without us, you will not survive the month. You're saying you've been causing these things. We are saying we see them coming, and we can choose whether to warn you or stay silent. Choose carefully, Anton. The package arrived the next day. Small box, no return address. Heavy. Something inside shifted when I moved it. I taped it shut and tried not to think about what I was doing. Stefan Koval's apartment was on the second floor. Peeling paint, broken intercom. I knocked at 8:23 exactly. The man who answered was in his 40s, unshaven, suspicious. Yeah, delivery from the frequency. His face went white. Same reaction as Marcus. Pure fear. He took the package with shaking hands. Didn't say a word. Just closed the door. I walked home through humid summer air, feeling sick. Made it halfway before my phone rang. Elena. Anton, I need to warn you about something. That group you're connected with? The frequency? Be careful. My brother told me things before he disappeared. They don't just help people. They own them. What do you mean, disappeared? 3 days ago. He paid his debt and vanished. The last thing he said was that the frequency collects more than money. She paused. He said they collect people. I hung up. Ran the rest of the way home. The radio was on. Waiting. You spoke to Elena, the voice said. Not a question. A statement. What did I deliver to Stefan? A reminder of what happens when you cross us. Was it a bomb? A weapon? It was a message, Anton. Like all our messages. Some are warnings. Some are instructions. Some are consequences. The static deepened. You have done well. But Elena has become a problem. She asks too many questions. Shares too much. No, I said. I won't hurt her. We are not asking you to hurt her. We are asking you to deliver one more package. Tomorrow night. To her apartment. 8:15. After that, your ledger will be clear. You will be free. Free. Or you can refuse. Unplug the radio. Walk away. But understand, Anton, Victor tried that too. He thought he could escape the frequency. He thought wrong. The illness that took his mind? That was not illness. That was us showing him what happens when you break your ledger. We can do the same to you. Make you forget. Make you scream. Make you nothing. I pulled the plug. Threw the radio against the wall. It shattered. Tubes exploded. Glass everywhere. Silence. For 10 seconds, beautiful silence. Then every speaker in my house came alive. My phone. My laptop. The television upstairs. All of them hissing with static. And through it, the voice. Louder now. Everywhere. You cannot unplug us, Anton. We are not in the radio. We are in the frequency itself. And you are part of it now. Forever. I didn't deliver the package to Elena. I told her everything. She left Chicago the next day. Changed her name, or so I heard. I never saw her again. The voice stopped after that. No more warnings. No more help. But they were right about one thing. Without them, the accidents found me. Small ones at first. A cut that got infected. Food poisoning. A car that nearly hit me. Each one worse than the last. I moved 6 times in 3 years. Doesn't matter. Every new place, eventually I find it. An old radio. Already tuned to AM 780. Already plugged in. Already waiting. Last week, it happened again. New apartment. Radio on the kitchen counter. I didn't put it there. I never put it there. At 11:32 p.m., the voice returned. Hello again, Anton. We have missed you. The ledger, you understand, never closes, only grows. Victor's debt became yours. Yours will become someone else's. This is how the frequency works. This is how it survives. I asked the only question left. What do you want? Listen carefully, it said. In 3 days, you will receive a call. Someone will need your help. You will say yes. And God help me, I know I will. Because the only thing worse than being part of the frequency is trying to escape it. Victor learned that. Elena's brother learned that. Now I understand. The radio doesn't play messages for me. I play messages for it. The last message was a warning. Not for me. For whoever comes next. If you find a radio tuned to AM 780, if you hear a voice that knows your name, if someone offers you help you didn't ask for, run. Run and never stop. Because once the frequency finds you, once you're in the ledger, you will never ever be free. And somewhere in the static, I swear I can hear Victor laughing.